play Rats of Wistar. So this is you're playing mices. And you're going and you're exploring a house, and in the process, maybe creating some really cool inventions. But before we get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because board games are amazing, and that's what we do here at Legends of Nirvana. Now, Randy, can you tell us a little bit more about Rats of Wistar?
I can. This is a 2023 release. Board Game Geek rating on it is 7.6. Rank is 2202. It's a 1 to 4 player game, 90 minutes average length. Age 13 and up. I really don't know about the age. I mean, there is some iconography, quite a bit of iconography in it.
If it wasn't for the iconography, it'd be lower.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the theme is cute. And
absolutely. Sarah could probably play this, but that's because she's more familiarized with the iconography. So I would definitely... I'd definitely teach her this game.
Yeah, it's a worker placement game designed by Simone Luciani, who's one of the developers of Zolkin, which is one of your favorite games.
It is.
And Danilo Sabia. Art is by Candida Corsi and Sarah Valentino. It's published by Captone Games and Cranio Creations, which are two of our favorite companies working together there. MSRP is $69.95. Now, the prices I found online for it, the cheapest one I found was from a company I've never heard of, Red 6 Games, so I don't know anything about them. Boardtopia is $52.99, Game Nerds is $55.97, and Miniature Market is $55.99. Card House did not have this one, so our usual go-to doesn't have it.
Whatever. All right, so now let's talk about the quality of components. You do have... I think some really cute little mice meeples, as well as little mice workers.
And they all have faces painted, or little mouth and eyes.
They're all screen printed, yeah. So those are kind of cute. This is a very cutesy game. I don't know, it just feels cute to me.
Yeah.
The
board's not inlaid, but it does have a linen finish.
It is curling already.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of cardboard chits. The units are kind of small. Like these are really, if you have any type of dexterity issues, these are not your friend. But they are shaped and they are cute. I mean, technically you are a mouse, so maybe they're supposed to be small.
Mouse-sized, yes. Even
though they hurt your hands. Okay, so with that being said, card quality is...
It's a little thin, but it does have a linen finish.
Yes, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll probably give this 6.5 to 7. I really like the little meeples.
I'll give it... Oh, I'm a little torn. I would go with 7, but one problem with this game is it has a pin that holds the dial in place that you're going to have to remove it every time you put this game away. It will not fit in the box with that dial. So it's got a screw top. So you're going to have a screwdriver to take this thing apart, or else get your nails in there to get it.
No.
Which is kind of silly.
That's lame.
Yeah, I think they could have moved that dial just slightly upward, got it to fit on that top panel. There's plenty of empty space above it. I don't understand why it was put where it was.
I mean, visually, it's right there in the center. I get why they did it, but it doesn't work practically.
Yeah. Putting this back in the boxes, you're going to have to disassemble that, and that's a nuisance.
Sad face. Yeah, that's really not cool. All right, so moving on to the actual theme. The theme's really cute. The art is cutesy. It's, you're a little mouse and you're wandering around. I really like the art of the contraptions. Those were a lot of fun to look at.
Yeah, and they're all different. So
are.
They put a lot of effort into that. I really like that. And they made fun different devices. They weren't just standard basic things.
Yeah, I mean, robot giraffe, really. Yeah. Teleportation room, development room, clockwork beaver. I think we saw
that mechanical also you got from Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, the
telepathic implants.
I mean, you got a bunch of fun, but then you also got some basic metal storage, right? So the thing is it was a lot of fun. I was looking at what the names were. It wasn't just a building with stuff. I actually looked to see what it was, and I thought it was actually really cute. So I think they did a great job there. I like the fact that you're exploring a house, you're meeting other mice, you're trying to bring them back home with you to, with their special abilities. I thought it was really, really cute. I liked it. I'm giving it an 8.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go 9 on this,
Ooh,
just because
okay.
I mean, it is a very fun theme.
It is very
You have
fun.
to make some hard decisions because there's never enough time to do all the things.
Yeah, tell me about it.
And you've got very limited actions you can take on there on the dial. But as far as the actual exploration, I was like, I want to explore more of this world. I just kept getting sucked into the house and trying to figure out how to do these missions. And, I was really enjoying the theme a lot in this game. So I think it's a 9 to me.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so moving on to the rule book. What were you thinking?
Well, it's got 2 rule books. One is a 20-page rule book for the main game, which is not bad. I mean, there's a lot of detail in this game. The biggest issue is the iconography, and some of it was not detailed well in the rule book. I mean, there's an icon cheat sheet, but it's not at the back. It's near the back. It's the appendix, but it's pages 18 and 19. It should have been nice to have been on the back. And then they did the same thing that I've seen a lot of games do, where they do a shortcut of showing the invention cards. Instead of listing all of them, they put the ones that they think are going to have the most questions asked about them. But if you have a question on one that's not listed there, then you're just out of luck. I don't like when they do that. But the rulebook overall was very straightforward setting it up. The cards and everything were pictured. Everything, all the components are pictured and number how many are in there, which was good. You do have some assembly, like I said, with the dial, and there's it was just it seems to me that they could have made some better choices there. But overall, this rulebook does a good job communicating. And then the solo game one is, I think I said, 12 pages long. So this has got a meaty solo game too. And there's pieces that are not in the base game. As a matter of fact, they're not listed in the component list for the base game. So that threw a little confusion, because you get the solo game book and it has the components specifically for it. So if you get all the pieces out and you're like, why do I have extra pieces? Check the solo rulebook, because that's why. But overall, I think the rulebook does a fine job. I'll give it probably a 7.5.
Okay, great. All right, so moving on to the actual gameplay. So this is very much worker placement. So basically, everyone starts out with 3 mice at the game.
And you don't gain any more of those.
Yeah, no, these are the only workers you have. However, you can increase strength throughout the game. So you originally will start out with only 2 workers actually in your house. They are not put on the board. But for this example, we're going to show you how these mice can affect the strength that are actually on the different locations. So when I go to play, I need some resources. I need some wood before I can play some of my additional cards here. So I'm going to go to the wood, but I have to go to an action right below it to trigger that additional action. So not only am I looking for the outside, I'm also looking for the in, and this thing rotates, so not all the spaces will be the same the next round. So sometimes you can get a real sweet spot. You're like, oh, I want that one. So in this case, if I meet one of the criteria, I can lay down a thing, or I can move my mice too. I'm actually going to want to move my mice too, but first I'm going to trigger this outside. So I'm going to get 3 wood. So I'm going to collect the wood, put it in here, and I know I want to explore with my next mice. So I'm going to use this 2 movement, and I'm going to move 2 over here for that action. Now it's Randy's turn. Now hopefully Randy, don't take my spot, because normally he wouldn't know what I was doing.
So if I had any mice in my home here that were freed up, I could play them to the board as a free action. The ones that are on the board are locked in the spot unless you get an action like you just got, where it lets you move
or
them.
You have a move token.
Or there's move tokens that you can spend to move a mouse to a different location. And there's 3 different regions of the board. There's the underground, then there's the farm, and then there's the forest. And 2 of the sectors on the dial are related to each one of those regions. So if I assign to that region in either sector, I can trigger using the power of those mice. Now, the one challenge with that is if there's multiple actions within that sector, you got to choose one, and you can't go back to that same sector. I got burned. I burned myself in the last round of the last game, where I
No,
blocked
see,
myself.
what's funny is I kept reminding him throughout the game, hey, honey, you don't have any mice there. You won't have any strength there. And he was like, oh, okay. And then the last round, I wasn't paying attention, and he did it to himself because I wasn't watching for him.
Because you got to make sure, if you have no mice in that region, the outside perimeter action, the main action, you won't get to do it because it's a 0 multiplier. So you want to make sure that you have mice, in that region on the perimeter to build up your strength when you take the action to the amount you need it. Now, the various actions you can do, you can dig tunnels into your area to allow you to store more things, which one of the main things you want to store there is building rooms for your mice. Because right now at the beginning, they're kind of locked up in their holding area over here, and whenever you build a room, you can put the bed over, and then they're freed up, and you can add them to the board.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure you get that done, but you have to dig the hole before you can build the room. So.
The other thing you can do is you can go exploring the house, and you can find different quests, if you will, or you can unlock doors that give you benefits, or you can meet other friends that you can bring back if you have
mice to your home.
If you have space for them and trigger that action. You can build the beds, right, move them over. So this game, plus you have the different quests, right? So if you meet certain criteria, you can unlock some of your abilities down below or get benefits right here. So that's kind of fun and interesting. I think I definitely would have played it different. I would have explored a lot more. I think you did all the exploring and you kicked my butt on points.
It wasn't as bad as you think. It was like 66 to 50. I mean, that was a bigger score, I guess, 16 points, but it looked like it would be a lot worse, and it really wasn't.
Right.
You don't, with the points that you get for unlocking things, it's the highest total on your board, so it's not like cumulative.
Right, but the key thing is when you explore, you can kind of release some of these cubes, which give you additional
that was
benefits.
very helpful.
Yeah, so I think exploring was a lot more relevant than I originally anticipated. So that is something to kind of keep note. You do want to send out your guys and do some things and try to get some of these abilities and try to get some of this action going on. But it is only 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's really the key, because the 5 rounds comes really fast. Because you only get 3 actions per round, 5 rounds. And, yes, you get a bonus action, but the main thing is, you want to make sure you get the main actions that you need, because that's really the big thing. And, you can only apply one person or one mouse per sector, so you're not going to get to do it that many times.
Yeah, so you just want to be very, very aware of what you're doing, and understanding that. So overall, I would play it differently. I do want to play it again, just because I don't think I presented myself well in this particular game. And I did think it was very, very cute. It's actually a bit on the lighter side. I would go light to medium. But there's still a lot going on. So maybe not your basic players, but the actions are pretty basic. So for someone that's learning some more complex games, this might be a good fit.
If you compare it to what most Capstone or Cranio games are, it's definitely lighter than those. That said, this rulebook's going to be very intimidating to somebody who's stepping from a light game like, say, Splendor or something like that and trying to step up to the next level. This is a huge leap as far as understanding those rules.
Well, grab somebody and have them teach you.
But the gameplay, once you get it, it's pretty simple. But there's a lot of hard choices to make, which I like, and it's very tight as far as the different choices because of the number of options that are out there and the number of players that are choosing them. Now, the tiles are reversible, so on the other side, there's some of them have 3 to 4 player options. Some of them don't, so some of them are not reversible. So you've got it set up for more actions for different player counts. So that gives you a little bit of difference. It's the same ones every time, though. You have variability in the objectives you're going to go for. There's a lot of objectives that you're not playing with. And then one of the things we didn't get is one of the things you can unlock. You can unlock heroes, which are going to give you a lot more of the icons and trigger extra scoring, which I like these too. It's one of the unlocks with the cubes. So I think completing missions is very important in this game. So that's it. I think it's a really fun game. Just the theme makes it fun, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting. One thing I didn't mention that I wanted to point out, this really cracked me up when I first got the box out. There's a little tag that was in the box, and it says, Rats of Wistar is not affiliated, associated, authorized, endorsed by, or in any way officially connected with the Wistar Institute of Anatomy and Biology. I don't know why anybody would get this game out and think, I wonder if this is tied to the Institute of Anatomy and Biology.
It might have to do with some of their maybe copywriting or something
maybe
like
they
that.
do experimentation with rats. I don't know, but it just seemed like a very odd thing that somebody... It's like,
maybe
well,
they don't,
obviously
and
they were
that's kind of the
concerned.
point. Yeah, maybe it's because they don't, or I don't know. Well, I mean, that's odd.
It was very odd to see that tag, but I thought it was humorous. So I really enjoyed this game. I'm probably going to give it a 7.5.
I did too. I really liked it as well. I'm with you at a 7.5. I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely play it again. I think this one would be a great one for Sissy. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We had an absolute blast this evening. Hopefully you'll come hang out with us again. We'll catch you guys later.
Bye.